Yeah, so, guys, you know, we're at World Cup. It might be things like that happening. Look at that. Like we clap.
Fixed it.
All right, guys. I was going to say today, but in this clip, we're sitting down with Sean Madden with Betty White. It is a white C6 Corvette stick shift, you know, T56, as everybody in this video is. Super badass car. Just went a 715, 713?
13.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Get it right, dude.
Yeah,
Come on.
I know. I'm mentally challenged, man. Come on.
Yeah.
At what, 200 something?
No, it's a 193.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it's
that's pretty low.
I ran out of boost.
I know, but I'm just...
Yeah, CO2 was out. We literally refilled the CO2 yesterday.
Yeah.
Jonathan Atkins filled it up for me, and...
Oh, he sabotaged you.
Yeah, I guess that's probably
He didn't want to give a cheeseburger to you.
Basically.
He was worried he was going to have to pay up.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Still was super smooth. And as soon as I was like on the pass, I knew how much boost I had in the ramp. So I was thinking to myself, like, this is it. Like,
yeah.
You know how long I've been going for sixes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what is this car? I've seen it out probably for 3 years now, I want to say, where it's been like actually going for like low 7s to 6s.
Yeah.
I want to say, is that right?
I think right now, like, my goal is like, I'm just gonna skip the 6s. I'm just gonna go 5s.
Oh, go right to 5s?
Not happening.
You might need to find a little more boost. Do you think that turbo's got a 5 in it?
Man, honestly, that turbo for sure has a 5 in it.
Yeah? Has it done it on other cars?
Yeah, it has actually.
Okay.
Yeah. That turbo's been 360 in the 8. So pretty
what
bad.
What is that,
it's
a
118.
118?
Yeah.
God, they're just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, they get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, so guys, if you hear anything or see anything, we're at World Cup and there is welding going on the back end of this car right now. So, you know, if
my rear end's got a crack in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens.
Now I'm not talking about the one on me.
Yeah.
I'm talking about my actual car.
Cracked rear end.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty unique car too because it's got a Billet LS block, and I feel like there's not all that many Billet blocks in the stick class. There's actually some rumblings in one of the other camps about outlawing Billet blocks.
Really?
That's what they're saying. If the class gets too fast, they may have to do that to kind of hone it in.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that for people that are scared, but it's literally called outlaw stick for a reason. I think if it's that, then they should stop calling it outlaw stick. The term
scared
outlaw stick, scared stick would be better. I don't know, but I mean, cast is fast too. I mean, you look at the world record holder right now, it's Nick Mann, and he's got a cast block.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't really see why anybody would complain.
Yeah, Nick Coleman, I mean, he was telling me he's probably making 3,000 horsepower.
Yeah, I bet you he's making every bit of 2,800, 2,900 to the tire.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine, and I've talked to him, and I think that's right where he said he was probably at, you know. But they say cast ain't fast, but cast went 649 with a T56 and a freaking S10 brick of a race car.
Yep.
So,
is the billet block even that much lighter?
No, it's heavier.
It's heavier, right?
I have a cast aluminum block right here that's filled with concrete, and it's 50 pounds lighter than the billet block that's in here.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize that about the billet blocks.
Yeah, it's so much denser.
Dense.
Yeah, so dense.
And even the iron blocks, like, they're probably pretty comparable then. If that's 50 pounds heavier,
that's about
an iron
50
block's
pounds,
about 100 heavier.
Yeah, that's about 50 pounds lighter than an iron block.
Yeah,
you know?
So it's not really that crazy because you got what? How much weight sitting here on the nose anyway?
25 and 25.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
So there you go. So it would have been made up right there anyway.
Yeah,
so again,
basically.
it's like the billet just gains you that reliability.
Yeah.
And somebody like Granis, he can't do what he's doing with a cast block. It's just not going to happen.
No,
not on a 2J.
No, I mean, look at Rogers. Rogers has a cast block, and, you know, he's not putting up near the mile an hour that Granis is. You know, he's getting pretty close to the ET because he has a nice, consistent car that works well. But, you know, Granis has been 660 and an absurd amount of mile an hour. I think he still holds the record for mile an hour, like 223 or something like that, which is just insane, you know?
Yeah, that car's rolling out. I mean, it's been in the stick shift game exceedingly long compared to some of these other guys. I mean, like you were saying, 3 years. right?
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
from when
no
you were
doubt.
really chasing it. And your car's pretty interesting too, because maybe I just didn't notice it at the time, but I feel like a lot of people progress into Outlaw Stick, and it seems like you were like, oh, I want to race Outlaw Stick, and was like, I'm gonna build a car to race it.
Well, no, I guess I actually progressed too. Not many people really know what the car was before this, but I bought this car from my buddy, and he was having some financial trouble at the time. We all go through it. Even I was. I sold my motorcycle just to give him a down payment on this car, and he was like, dude, if you can give it to me and you can hold my car as collateral, but I'm gonna come get my car back. He loved this car. It made like 1200 wheel, big single turbo setup, was still IRS, very street car.
Yeah.
Super street car. Still had AC and everything. But I just kept modding it, and I was waiting on him to give me the money back. And I just kept modding it, and we would still go to the racetrack together, and we would take turns driving. It was just a great buddy experience. But eventually he was just like, bud, you want to buy the car? Like, you can just buy it. And I was like, yeah, I'll buy it. And then it just kind of slowly transformed from a 1200 horsepower street car into the monster that it is now, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you were racing it where at the time then, mostly?
Mostly at my local track. So I'm from Louisiana, down south, Monroe area, my local track. Or I'd street race it, if I'm being honest. So we'll go to Mexico.
I mean,
yeah.
You don't have to pretend you weren't street racing it to us. I don't think any of us really care. Yeah. So, and then you were like, hey, those guys seem like they're having pretty good fun Corvette stick racing.
Well,
and you were smart because you didn't leave it IRS.
Yes.
You didn't leave the transmission where God did not intend it to be.
Yeah,
in
God
the rear,
did not intend
on the
to
diff.
be. Yeah, exactly.
It's not the spot for it.
No, it's not the spot. It's not how drag cars were meant to react. The suspension is meant to work and stuff. But after probably about the 60th time pulling the transmission, and I was also pulling the rear wheels and the cradle and the diff and all that at the same time, I was like, screw this, man. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to 4-link this thing. And we did. Me and my buddy Taylor, the guy who's welding on the back of the car right now, me and him 4-linked it at his shop. And we had no idea what we were doing. We actually put the 4-link brackets in there upside down to begin with.
It's a good start.
God, dude, we had no clue. I was talking to the guys today, like, the amount of stuff we've learned over the past 6 years is just insane because, you know, like, I was hard-pressed to go 9, like, 5-6 years ago, and it would be like a 9 like every other pass, and like we just went back-to-back 7-1s at World Cup. We probably would have won a 6 if we would have had some CO2, but we just ran out.
Yeah, if Jonathan didn't sabotage you.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's the narrative I'm going
Yeah.
to swing here, you know?
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting. So you're still sitting, what, number 5 qualifier? 4?
Number 5 on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
And right now, as we're filming this video, there is a rotary sitting in number 1 qualifier of stick shift, went 680 at 204, which I don't know if that's happened in stick shift
Yeah.
at this level, so it's pretty cool to see.
Man, that's badass. That's really bad. Let me ask you this. I haven't even seen the car, so just tell me. Does this thing got wheelie bars?
Yeah. It's a Starlet, man.
Golly.
It's a little Starlet, little
Guys
81.
out here with wheelie bars. You're street outlawing us right now.
Yeah,
You know?
he's the real outlaw.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the real outlaw.
So-
Freaking 4-cylinder. No, it's not. It's a rotary. Golly.
Yeah, it's a 1.3 liter.
Yeah, 1.3
no
liter.
cylinder, no
Yeah.
piston, no
Yeah.
rod, none of
Oh my
that
God.
junk.
Yeah, super outlaw, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes way more
Get that
power
man a
than
cheeseburger.
Yeah.
So if anybody doesn't know, the joke with cheeseburgers is Jonathan Atkins said if any LS breaks his record, he's going to buy him a cheeseburger.
You know, Nick said that he still hasn't got his cheeseburger yet.
Oh, so Nick Coleman currently has the record, and Jonathan Atkins has not paid up a cheeseburger.
Yeah. I don't know what he's got against us LS guys. Sabotaged my CO2. Hasn't given Nick his cheeseburger.
No, it's
I don't know what's going on here.
there should be, yeah, maybe you need to like protest him.
You know, I got him an apron last World Cup that said, I forget what it said. It said something about LS is my daddy or something like that. It was a nice apron, you know, that he
Yeah.
could cook the cheeseburger with. Because I knew somebody was going to break it, but we still didn't break it last year. But he has this apron hung up in his race trailer. still to this day. So maybe we should just like bombard him and be like, hey, where's the cheeseburger? Like, we need you to throw the apron on right now and cook us this cheeseburger.
He's probably gonna show up with like a vegan cheeseburger for Nick.
I hope that he shares it with me, so I can get like a taste of what it's gonna be like, and maybe that'll give me like the boost I need to put this thing in the sixes.
So right now the record for H pattern.
649.
649. Yeah. I was gonna say like I don't want to micro record it too much because it's just H pattern, or is it T56? What do you guys normally call it?
H pattern. H pattern stick shift record.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
and that's what all the guys are going for. So that's why I don't think there should be a outlaw on billet blocks or wheelie bars. In my honest opinion, like I joke about that stuff, but honestly, it doesn't matter. I feel like people just show up, and as long as you're not running like a clutchless style transmission, like one you have to hold in gear, like a Lenco or something like that.
Yeah, like a pro stock style deal.
Yeah, as long as you're not running that, and it's because they still make those and make an H pattern shifter for them.
Yeah.
And like we could have guys come out here and just obliterate us if they had one of those style transmissions. I think that's the only stipulation, that and tire size. Other than that, I think it should be wide open.
Well, they did add the rule this year where it's no big blocks.
Yeah.
Which is a little interesting. And there's no big block car that that I know of that they've ruled out. It's not like somebody that was going to run away with the class got ruled out. They almost like preemptively struck.
Yeah.
Like normally the class has to get ran away from and then they strike.
Yeah. No, normally.
That was weird.
That was kind of weird, but I think the no big block thing is kind of a silly rule because me and you both know what big block torque is like, right? It hits different than small block, right? So if you think us guys we're bending input shafts, twisting them right now, what do you think it's going to do with a big block in it? Like, no, I wouldn't dare put a big block in my car. If I could put a big block in my car and you would write me the check for the big block out of your bank account, I would still not put a big block in my car.
Yeah, it wouldn't work as good.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to keep a trans together.
No.
And people like Tick are pushing the trans technology pretty aggressively, which is nice to see.
Yeah, they have pushed it a very long ways. We're on 29 spline input shafts right now, and those have been holding up great. I found a weak point just like 2 days before we left for World Cup. Went out to a local 8th mile track, did some testing, and went a 460 at 160 to the 8, so that was pretty cool. But I broke the hub inside of the clutch disc. I didn't break the splines, didn't hurt the splines on the input shaft. That transmission is still in the car, but I broke the actual hub inside the disc, just rounded all the splines out of the disc.
Yep.
So now we know that's probably going to be our next weak point, is the actual hub of the disc. At least on a single disc like I'm running. If you have 2 discs, it kind of disperses the load a little bit. Probably helps out, but...
Yeah, and even the clutch technology has come so far with them adding the pro stock style stuff. And, some people are really got a real good grasp on that. Like, you talk to Nick Coleman, and he's got a really good grasp on the clutch technology that's, like, way over my head.
Yeah.
And then...
Man,
it's tricky.
It's been, I think that's why they call, so I'm running a Black Magic clutch, so is Nick.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he came up with the name Black Magic, is because, it's, you talk about, like, Black Magic, it's just it's the unknown, And I think that's why they named the clutch company Black Magic. I don't even know, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I mean, they usually get those things spec'd pretty well. Like, here, try this, and it's pretty accurate, I would say, from what you get. Even like when we first put one in Leroy to try slipper clutch, like it was pretty spot on. Yeah. Kind of right off the kick.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, you want to talk about last year with this thing?
I don't even want to think about it.
You want to bring it up for us here a little bit for the people to know what it takes to compete at this level, or what it could take.
Yeah, what it could take. Last year, I had a really, really bad year. I built an engine. I went to FL2K. I lost to John Rogers in like second round and I was coming around. I'm so hot. I was on the scramble button. We were making a really good pass. We're like 166 to the 8, 450. It was for sure my second run, and I clicked it into second instead of fourth. So money shifted it right there, toasted the trans, rod through the side of the block, and well.
What kind of RPM you think that thing saw for a split second?
Oh, it went to 10.8. It went to 10,800. I shifted into second gear going 172 miles an hour. So, yeah.
You're going to have a bad time when you do that.
Yeah, rod exited the chat.
Yeah.
So, we ended up building an engine. That cost me like, what, 30, like I told you earlier, like 35,000.
Yep.
And then got here, as soon as I got here, first test pass on Wednesday before qualifiers. Dropped 3 valves in that engine. Called around, found another motor, bought another motor from John Doc, another YouTuber.
Yep.
And out of Black Sheep, pretty badass motor. Got it here, and it went. It was 36,000. So now we're at like 71K, and then I went on to break the transmission and everything else. Basically, it cost me like 80 grand that week. The week of, like, within that 2-week span from getting this motor to blowing it up, and getting this motor and then blowing the trans up and that motor, like, it's just, it all was just
pain, a little bit of pain,
a lot of bit of pain.
Yeah,
it's okay. Now I have that motor in the trailer right now as a spare, and I feel great about it because we have a great tune-up on it. We actually pulled that engine. That's the one that went 460 at 160, like 2 days before we came here.
Pulling a not hurt engine as a spare is probably a pretty nice feeling.
You know, we're trying to play the long game of World Cup because, man, I really want that cup. I want it really bad.
It's a special trophy.
It's a special trophy, you know. It hits home, and we put the billet block in there not only because I know this billet block is the better engine, but we don't have any data on it. So that 713 was the third pass on this motor, dude. Like, we had all the data we needed for that. So in eliminations, if this gets hurt now I've got it lined out. But if it does get hurt, we can pull it right out, put that one in, and know how to go fast. So it's more work, but it was the long game, you know? It was just a tricky chess move is all it was. So,
yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely seemed like the right move.
Pulled a great running engine out to put unknown engine in to test with it Wednesday.
Yep.
And now we're here, qualified number 5. And gonna run up the ladder tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
it's a good class too. There's the who's who of stick shift, as cheesy as that kind of is to say, is on property.
Yeah,
for sure right now.
Oh yeah,
and it's
always is.
It's going to be pretty spicy because I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, there's only a few good races for stick shift every year, man. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's this FL2K and TX2K.
Yeah. So.
And I was even going to say, I do recall at TX2K, you hurt the engine.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
But for people that don't know, these engines get hurt. He is prepared to probably break another one, and to reach his goal, he might break it again, and might break it again. It's like...
And cry again, and break it, and cry again.
Yeah.
And break it, and cry some more.
It's kind of cost of doing business at that point.
Yeah. No doubt, man. It's really not about the money for me, though. I feel like I would spend my last dollar to go fast. I'm just a diehard race car guy, dude. That's all I am.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way that you'll survive in this game is if that's your mentality.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because if you're like
if you're smart enough, you would quit, right? But we're not.
If you're like 1 foot in, you're gonna get chewed up.
Yeah.
You gotta
be all in.
Full dumbass.
Yeah.
Just dive in.
I fully agree.
I mean, listen, if you talk to any of the stick shift guys, they understand.
They're like, yeah, we're ignorant.
Yeah, they're like, this is the worst financial decision I can make.
Yeah.
But I do it every weekend.
Yeah, we just love it, man.
It's the best. Well, we'll get rolling, man. This was awesome. Next time you're down in Bradenton, we'll have you on for like a full episode. And guys, go. Welcome to World Cup.
Guarantee you they were wearing some Cletus jerseys.
Oh, they probably were. Yeah. Where can they follow the car at?
They can follow me at Next Shift on YouTube, Instagram. That's NXT Shift. You know, I've been slacking on posting a lot. I know you're probably gonna have a few guys follow you, get on there and be like, oh my God, he doesn't post anymore. I just want to let you guys know, if you see this before you see one of my videos, I'm not posting because I vowed to myself that I wouldn't post until I went 6s in the quarter. There's only so many times you want to watch a white Corvette go low 7s.
It's a bad financial decision, though.
Yeah.
To not post until you do something cool.
Well, and I've got a construction business, and I literally stay balls to the walls all the time, trying to run my business and everything. And you know, I never did YouTube for the money. It was just to create a story. Yeah. You know, or never did it for the money, never did it for the fame. I just wanted to create a story. The channel took off pretty good, and I think we're at like 75,000 subs or something like that.
That's awesome.
But I haven't posted in like 10 months, and the guys that follow me, I'm sorry I let you down, but we're gonna go with 6 this week, and then you're gonna see a video from me, and then I swear to God, I have like 10 videos on backlog.
Well, I always tell people, if nothing else, post for your sponsors.
Yeah.
Post for the people that help you out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because then that gives you like, oh shit, like I want to highlight the people that help me out. It kind of gives you a different motivation.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, good deal, man. Thank you so much for coming on. This was a lot of fun. It's late. He's got some welding to do, but
I don't weld. Taylor's welding.
Now to the next guy.